Hello, guys. Cheers. A day is another day if you don't start with coffee, at least in my case. So, today I've got you all here just to make a general guide about my own personal game style when it comes to Merc and what I found that works for me. In Blue Gear, I can slap another player for around like 425. At least that's the biggest number I've seen so far. Again, with Blue Gear. Over here now, I've put some legendaries and epics just for the videos. I will go over here over the talents, the skills, why I'm using what I'm using, and the synergy. And then I'm gonna cover the affixes as well. So let's start. For you to understand the skills properly, I guess first we need to start with the playstyle. When it comes to the playstyle of Hammer Merc, you have to keep in mind you are going to have very telegraphed and slow attack speed, but you're gonna hit hard, very hard. The amount that you can hit in one hit, I haven't seen another class do it. Sword can hit also very hard, but with two hits due to the instant cast. But as a singular attack, no. We're in this build. We are absolutely countering the mobility aspect. That's why over here you can see like I use this, and I even put a talent over here as one of my gap closers. This is my second gap closer, and but this you can go back and forth between this and this, but you will lose a gap closer with the mobility of other classes and with your telegraph moves. It's easy to. It can be easy to kite you, you know. So I chose the hammer dash instead, and besides, this is so obvious that it's useful mainly in close quarters. You might be able to get one or two hits. Let's say if they don't pay attention to you or something like that, because in open area, open space, you just see the hammer going up and you just dodge away, run away. It's really, I mean, it's useful. It has nice debuff like movement speed reduction, gives you super armor like every single other attack I'm gonna go over with. But yeah, it requires a very specific type of situation. You need to be against a close combat. Someone who fights from up close. You have to someone from up close have to let him. Let you hit him basically. So I've seen some people use this. It's not bad, but it's not great either. I mean, it's a meme skill if you ask me. But here we go. So I use the hammer dash. I have this gap closer. I use the hammer dash, and I use the skull crusher. When you charge it up, it will jump up in the air. And the thing you have to keep in mind is that you can still control the trajectory where he goes, how he flies. So even mid-air, you can change it, and because of the talents I've put, you can with E skill with the right mouse button while you're charging, you can move, you can dodge. You're not stationary, and I think that's a very important thing to keep in mind. So let's go with the talents. And the reason I'm not gonna go over here and show you the talents over here is because there's some that are core Merc abilities that increase everything overall, and they focus specifically on your super armor. So yeah, I think that's why we're gonna go with talents, and we'll cover them, why we chose them, why we haven't chosen the other ones. Again, when it comes to the Q ability, you can play with it if you want, but the rest of them, I think I wouldn't change at all. I don't. Sorry. I also use the sword and shield. Normally I was avoiding it, but then I saw that two abilities, and I'm like, that's useful. That's actually useful. Before we go to talents, let me cover the sword and shield. There are only two abilities that I use, nothing else. So we have shield dash, a gap closer, a very useful one, and then we have the shield slam, Captain America style, you know. Oh, and over here, like, yeah, you can block, especially let's say if the rogue throws the ravens, you can raise that shield. You can block the crow attack, the AoE. It's not difficult at all. And this one's, yeah, those are like if you want to hit once or twice before moving into back to the hammer. But these are the only two abilities, yes. The shield dash and the shield slam. So let's see. One gap closer, two gap closers, three gap closers, four gap closers, five gap closers. And if you manage your stamina properly, and you're not just spamming one after another, mate, guys, running away from you, it's gonna be a very difficult job. Okay, so let's go to the talents. I'll start from the first page and go that way. That's not the way you put your points in, though. So, Indomitable Will. These two over here, Indomitable Will and Resilience Body, they're a must. It doesn't matter what skills you use, doesn't matter what weapons you use. In my opinion, these two skills are mandatory, and I'll tell you why. So, stacking Indomitable Will, when attacked, basically when they attack you, when they hit you, Indomitable Will goes up. There is a small brief interval between attacks, so let's say the first attack will give it to you, the second one, third one will, and so on and so forth. What Indomitable Will does, it increases your physical resistances for a period of time, stacking up to 10 times. So, well, you become tanky, very tanky. Then we come over here to Resilient Body. After a charge type skill, basically any of your charge attacks, will it be with your mouse, will it be with the Q, will it be with the E, doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It will give you, guess what, Indomitable Will. You can pre-charge, that's what I do with the right mouse button. Click, charge, F, cancel. Again and again and again, and before you know it, I have 10 stacks before the battle has even started. I mean, you have to think about how useful that is. So, yeah, these two, mandatory. And keep in mind, remember, increases physical resistances, and there's a point to why I'm repeating that. Let's go. Over here, we make our super, our dash, hammer dash, the Q ability, give us super armor. And as you all are very well familiar with, and if you're not, doesn't matter, if you're new guys, welcome. Super armor grants you immunity to stagger effects caused by impact. But that doesn't mean you're immune to crowd control, though. Keep that in mind. Knockback, yes. Crowd control, no. Only because you have a super armor doesn't mean that's it. Because with this build that I'm running right now, you can have super armor like 80-90% of the time. Or with basically almost every single attack. Now, weapon mastery. Hammer. Hammer of Convergence. After charge type, basically every charge ability that you guys have. And remember, charge up abilities also give you physical resistances. Skill grants you super armor. Again, knockback immunity. Throughout charging, so not after you finish the charge, as you are charging, so it's harder for them to interrupt you. It greatly increases physical resistances and magic. So we have physical resistances from Hammer of Convergence, we have physical resistances from the charge attack that gives us the Indomitable Will. But also we get magic resistances for those Sorks and Seers and anything that uses magic damage. We all have felt how hard a sword can hit. It's ridiculous. Now, from here we go immediately up and go grab Unstoppable. When triggering super armor, clash basically your super armor against someone else's super armor. They collide, and that will happen quite often. Your own energy will not be reduced, so you do not lose stamina, you do not lose energy, and the enemy will be stunned. So unless I found myself quite in a lot of situations where I would do that. I will use my super armor to interrupt my enemy super armor. Will that be a Merc, a Weather Knight, or a Blasphemer Seer, the close combat Seer? But the thing is, we end up both being stunned, so I understand it if the Merc has also Unstoppable and is using it, which if he's not, why not? Doesn't matter. But the one thing I don't understand is why am I getting stunned as well when I'm using it against Blasphemer Seer or Weather Knight super armor? The stun should be, as you can see, in one direction, but maybe they're gonna fix that. I'm not sure, but doesn't matter. Unstoppable, they waste their energy, you don't waste yours. That's the important part. Then, Relentless Advance. You can move and dodge while charging Power Hammer and Punishing Hammer. Those are your mouse attacks. You may dodge up to 2 times, and each dodge consumes energy. That's absolutely normal. But yeah, your mouse attacks, the attacks that you will use the most often, you can charge them up and dodge and move, so they won't be able to avoid the attack. And because that your attacks are so telegraphed, you don't attack where the enemy is. You attack the location where you see the enemy getting ready to go to. For example, while you're moving towards them, you can see them twitching a little bit more to the left, more to the right, or just staying in front. If they're just staying in front, they're basically waiting for you to get up in the air so they can dodge straight towards you. So in midair, you change the positioning and you fly back. If they're twitching a little bit more to the left or to the right, that's a bit of a gamble, but it's most of the time they will go to the direction they're trying to avoid, you know? So if you aim towards the position that they look like they wanna go to, you are gonna hit them. It's absolutely almost inevitable. With the charge attack or with the skull crusher, or with the mouse attacks, that applies to absolutely everything. Every attack you have, it's telegraphed. You can see what he wants to do. You can fake by charging it and then canceling it with F. That is a thing. You absolutely can do that and make them waste. But you as a Merc, your comfortable spot is up close next to them, putting pressure on, keeping pressure on them. That's why that's why this build has like 5 gap closers. Okay, let's go to the next page. Over here, Iron Clan Body, Skull Crusher on level 1 grants you super armor. So you're charging it, you get super armor on the very first charge. The first moment you go blink, you already have super. Then the second charge, it changes the attack from a ground attack where you just swing the hammer over shoulder and down, changes to a flying attack. Basically, you jump in the air with a front flip and come down on them. Again, super armor is active from the point of liftoff to the point of landing. It's very hard to, again, you have to get used to controlling your guy in mid-air. But guys, if you land the attack, it hurts, it knocks back. And dynamic charge, you can move and dodge while charging Skull Crusher. That helps with end dodge and parry and all of that. So yeah, that helps you like fake them, like fake the attack, look like you're gonna attack one way but you attack another, just so you can smash the target. And when you do, it hurts. As for what the first thing you should level up is this tree. Hands down, this three. No question asked. These are the first three you want. These cover your super armor, which is your survivability. It covers your basic mouse attacks, which are the ones you're gonna be using the most often. Hands down, this is the first thing that you need to level up. After you get this, come over here. Extra survivability. You will still have the abilities, you will still be able to use them, but you, at first, as a merc, you need to make sure you survive. You can also like go with the super armor with the charge over here afterwards, or these two. That's absolutely up to you. Okay, so now that we've covered those, let's go and talk about affixes. So over here you can see the ones, basically these are the most important ones. And I'll tell you exactly why. Stoic. It will, so the moment your health is on 50%, your physical and magic resistance jump up. Does that sound familiar? Oh yeah, with the super armor and the iron ball wheel. Physical and magical resistance up in the sky. And then when you reach on 30%, it will automatically heal you back. I think it gives like almost 20%, so you're gonna go from 30 back to 20, which still makes your resistances and applicable to that point. And as you can see, once you get to level 5, it starts restoring like significantly more. On level 4, it just gives you resistances, but then on level 5 it starts giving you health as well. So yeah, 5 minimum is something that you want. And remember the 50% health threshold, and you'll see why, because this works very good with this. When health is below 50%, increase physical damage and magic damage. Basically, the moment you hit 50%, your defenses go up, your damage goes up. Upon reaching certain level, when health is below, it increases attack as well. As you can see, it's exactly as that. Once you get to level, same thing, once you get to level 5, you get also your attack, not only your magic and physical damage increase. 50%, same as Stoic, 50%. So on 50%, you go wild. Then we have Brotherhood. Now this is just a beautiful skill because it will increase your own defense and your allies. But let's say you're playing solo. Let me explain why this is good even for solo. It increases your basic defense, your multiple team. Upon reaching a certain level, grants increased attack as well. As you can see, on level 5, you get 30 defense and 1.8% attack damage on top. So if you're playing with other people and they have also Brotherhood, guess what? It stacks. It stacks, so you're giving them, they're giving you. How beautiful is that? Then, because we use so many charge attacks, of course, we're gonna have focused. So, increase your charging speed. And when you get to a certain level, it increases your movement speed as well. And one thing we do need is movement speed. If you want to catch up to sorcerers that above their movement speed, if you want to catch up to agile rogues, if you want to catch up to archers, movement speed is very important, because at some point when they get hit once or twice, they start to panic. They're like, okay, I'm about to die, this guy hits hard. I mean, everybody knows that a hammer mark hits hard. So they will start try to kite you. You don't want that. You want them to be in your comfort zone, which is close combat. You are the one dictating the fight. It's not the other way around. Don't allow that to happen. And for let's say if you're on green gear or blue, your main things should be valor and aegis. Extra defense, again, works very good with the Brotherhood because it's again defense. and on a certain level it increases also your physical resistance on top on the buff that you had, on top of everything that we covered so far. And then we go to Valor, which it will increase your attack, but also at a certain level it will start increasing defense penetration. So you start on level 5, you start ignoring 1.8% of your enemy's defenses. You start ignoring them. So ideally you would want to have these ones at a certain level. So because the way the game is designed, it leaves there is no cookie cutter build. This is my personal build, this is what I enjoy, this is the game style that I like. You are more than welcome and free to do with it whatever you want, change it, tweak it, work on it. It's absolutely fine. But these are the affixes that I found that work the best for me. The levels over here are not still well touched up properly, but over here it's a lot of defenses and a lot of damage and a lot of super armor. In a proper fight, when you get used to do the battle, the style of engagement and all that, you will have super armor most of the time. And during that time, your enemy is gonna try to run away, dodge, evade, and all of that. But guess what? What happens at some point? They run out of stamina. When that happens, guess what? They're just sitting there waiting. The amount of times that happens where they're exactly that situation, they will dodge and parry every single attack I have, and next thing I know, I can see them just trying to run, and I'm charging my skull crusher at that point and moving towards them. And they're not moving because they can't. They used all their attacks to avoid me or to hit back. And next thing you know, that's it. Because nobody wants to be in close quarters with a Merc. That's just a given. But these are the ones that I prefer. On my gear right now over here, you can see it's mainly stoics. Some of the gear is set up properly. The other ones, as you can see, still has slots to edit, change, personalize. For example, the Sky Piercer over here, it has to go. I can put a tier 2 gem over here if I want, over here as well. There are a lot of things that still need changing, and I still need to get like get the point where I can make myself a full purple set. All these purples that you see, they're not from crafting, they're from exploring, killing people and things like that. And let's say a new forge, epics, there we go. You can make whatever you want. I mean, the difference between the gear, let's say over here and over here, it's not gonna be that drastic. The value is the amount of gems, affixes that you can put in them, and the combination of affixes you can put in. So yeah, but if you're just starting, if you're still with green gear and you're still getting used to it, like if you have only green gear, the only two you need to stack is these two, Valor and Aegis. That will pull you through a lot of encounters, a lot. That's why, again, as you can see in my back, I'm with green gear. That's why I have consumed that potion, because that's the one it works for me. In any case, guys, if you want, you can see on my YouTube channel there is a link for my Discord, there is a link for my Twitch, so feel free to jump in. If you have any suggestions how I can improve, please feel free. Any type of brainstorming session is always welcome. We grow together, we work towards our goals together. We do everything for honor and glory, as I like to say. So if you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to ask. You are absolutely always welcome to. And again, if you want just to bounce ideas about builds, just do some theory crafting, I'm here. Bye for now.